basically what we came down with what we figured out was years ago, you had,
Well, I didn't figure this out.
we already knew, but
So I had breast implants put in
yeah,
about 15 years ago.
yeah, 15 years ago. So you were 26 at the time.
I think so.
Yeah. And obviously that was something when we got married, you had told me about it. And I was like, okay, well, this is something that we need to consider getting removed at some point.
Right.
You know, we weren't rushing to do it.
Right.
At that point, she felt fine. You didn't have any symptoms.
Right.
You were healthy. This is before we had children.
And it's the type of thing that you don't rush into having done if you're not having symptoms, because it's a surgery and it's a pain to have to undergo surgery. So, and we had babies so fast.
Yeah, and any kind of surgery is very invasive on the body.
Right.
And even if we're reducing a significant toxic load, because we know breast implants are very toxic, there's still the impact of the actual surgery that's very invasive, very stressful on the body. You got to recover from that process. And so you always have to weigh the benefits with the risks and the drawbacks. And so at that stage, we didn't feel like that the benefits of getting a surgery were going to, and of course the cost and the recovery, all of that stuff, we didn't feel like the benefits would outweigh the risks, but
and I didn't know.
We thought possibly down the road that they would.
But I also didn't understand how bad they were for me.
Yeah.
We hadn't necessarily delved into that just yet.
Yeah.
You knew, but the longer into our marriage, the more people that you interviewed and talked to, and the more research you did and such, you brought this up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, flash forward to 2022, we decided when you continually were getting sick and you were, down for 7-10 days at a time, we said, we really need to get these breast implants removed. And we made that decision, and we got it done this past October. And let's talk about, what you've noticed since then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have noticed that I haven't been sick since last October. Before that, since like maybe August. You got the surgery done in October, and I think the last time you got sick was... This is cool. As soon as we decided it was time to do the surgery, I actually prayed that I was like, I think, God, you and your kindness, you are allowing me to get sick over and over again to wake me up. And if it's in your will you please just keep me from getting really sick until after surgery? Because I just can't stand continually getting sick. And in God's kindness, he chose to answer that prayer request. So as soon as we made that decision to move forward and book that appointment, you're right. I didn't get sick after that. Yeah. I think that was the Lord choosing to answer that prayer. And it's been great. I've had one time where I got a cold this past month or two, I think, and I was able to function normally, do my normal responsibilities, and it lasted a very short amount of time, and my body did what it was created to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what have you noticed since getting them out? Obviously, your immune system is improved.
That's the biggest thing is my health, my overall health. But then I've also dropped 2 sizes because my body was holding on to weight that it didn't matter what I did. Like I did more fasting than any woman that I know. And my body just didn't want to let go of that extra fat. And there's a reason for that you were describing. Yeah,
for sure. Well, your fat cells... fat cells basically are a storage component of energy, and that's really where your body will sequester toxins. So we know that your body, if it can't eliminate toxins, it wants to hold on to toxins in areas that are going to cause the least amount of damage to the body. And so it will try to hold on to and sequester toxins to reduce the overall toxic load in the bloodstream and the amount of toxins getting into vital organs like your heart, your brain, your liver. And so it will put them in the fat. And so if you're liberating and breaking down a lot of your fat cells for fuel because you're doing intermittent fasting, you're eating a lower carbohydrate diet, you're exercising, your body will actually start to not allow as much of the fat to be used for fuel, right? And it will start to break down muscle tissue instead because it wants to protect the body from releasing all of these toxins, right? There's a certain threshold that the body has for the amount of toxins that it's going to allow to circulate. And it really wants to protect the body. So a lot of times when people have weight loss resistance, it has to do with the amount, the level of toxic load. Like all of us have a level of toxins in our system, and we can handle a certain amount. Once it gets over a certain threshold, though, that's when we're going to start to have symptoms like perhaps weight loss resistance.
Mm-hmm. I had a whole list of things. I noticed my skin has improved. I noticed I had red around here and just a little bit of splotchiness at times, and that's gone.
Yeah, red around like your lip area, upper lip.
Yep. And then you noticed that some of the bags that were around my eyes got better. So overall skin improvement.
She used to have real big bags, especially in the morning when you wake up. Which is oftentimes a sign of a higher toxic load, right? So,
What other symptoms? My brain feels clear overall, and I'm not needing naps. It's very rare that I need a nap, whereas for a while there, I was feeling like a need for a nap every day.
Yeah.
So mental clarity, energy. What else would you say that you've noticed?
Well, you really like your physique. You're fasting for long periods of time.
Fasting's easy nowadays.
Yeah, it used to be harder for you.
Yeah.
So that means your body's actually good, because when you're going into a longer fast, like a lot of times she'll just do one meal. It's like a dinner to dinner fast. And that is a really great test of how metabolically flexible your body is and how good you are at burning fat. Because if you're not good at burning fat, you're going to feel a crash. You're just going to crash. Your brain is not going to feel alive and awake. You may have anxiety, you may have irritability during that period of time. But if you are good at burning fat, you actually feel really good. And oftentimes you don't feel hungry, you don't have any cravings, you feel very productive and energized. And so in the past, when you would try to do that, you didn't feel good. Right. And now you're able to do that.
So better sometimes.
Again, sign that your body's metabolically flexible, and now it's good at burning fat. I can run
more easily, I've noticed. I'm sure that's also attributed to the weight loss. But running is easier. Just walking in general, movement in general. Just my body has less aches. I noticed that really quickly. I used to be in chronic pain in my upper back between my shoulder blades, so that's gone away. Just different aches and such around the body. But can you think of other things?
I think those are the big things. And I've heard from a lot of other women that have gotten their breast implants removed that they were experiencing chronic pain or chronic fatigue, and all of a sudden their energy came back. They noticed that their face felt different and looked different. The bags under their eyes were removed. They felt more mentally clear. And again, this all has to do with removing
toxic load,
the load of toxicity in the system.
So I've become passionate about this. I'm still not an expert by any means. I'm just someone that's experienced this, but I told David, I want to get my message out there. And this will be the first of multiple conversations that we'll have. I'm not an expert, but I'm learning, and I'm experienced. And no one can say I'm judgmental because I've been there. And so I'm speaking from a place of experience. And from that, I have gained this passion to help women learn, because I think our culture has this false idea of what beauty is. And there's pressure upon women to look in a certain way.